And by the way, speaking of that, may as well move into the stack on the San Bernardino 2 here. It turns out, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that these people are the exact opposite of what the drive-by media tried to tell us they are. First off, Stephen Hayes in the Weekly Standard, law enforcement officials in San Bernardino and Los Angeles may have investigated Saeed Farouk 1 week before the shooting on the Community Development Center that left 14 dead and 17 injured, according to a review of police communications immediately following the attacks. Federal and local authorities have insisted that neither of the attackers had aroused suspicion before the assault earlier this month, and that both Saeed Farouk, climate change, and his wife Tashfeen Malik were unknown to law enforcement and U.S. intelligence. But conversations between law enforcement officials in the hours after the shootings leave a different impression. And Hayes cites 2 examples of scanner traffic suggesting the LAPD may have investigated Saeed Farouk a week before the attack. In any case, Hayes writes, what does it say that we can't even trust the local police to not cover up having prior knowledge about this couple? He thinks he's found evidence that law enforcement had knowledge of these people a week before the event, and since it looks bad that nobody did anything about it, they're now running around saying they had no idea these people were totally off the radar when they're not and when they weren't. And so Hayes says, what does it say that we can't even trust the local police to not cover up having prior knowledge about the couple? They're not the only ones. Catherine Herridge at Fox News, a $28,500 deposit was made to Saeed Farouk's bank account from webbank.com on or about November 18th, some 2 weeks before he and his wife carried out the San Bernardino massacre. Investigators are exploring whether the transaction was a loan taken out by Farouk. He earned $53,000 a year with the county as an environmental health inspector. What does it say that some clown like this gets hired as an environmental health inspector or a restaurant inspector? Now, what is the currency in Pakistan? Do you know? Like it's the U.S. dollar here. It's the yuan in the Chaikhams. What's the currency in Pakistan? No, that's Russia. You're close. It's the rupee. The rupee. And do you know how many rupees $28,000 is? Well, it's 3 million, but the point is it's almost an exact conversion, depending on exchange rates, depending on what kind of fees you would pay. 3 million rupees. Like if you're going to be paid to do something, I will give you 3 million rupees. It comes out to $28,929 US. Now, who's going to loan somebody that amount of money, or who's going to pay them $28,929? You pay them $28,000, or $29,000, or $27,000, but 29, 929. When you find out that equals 3 million rupees, then you can conclude that maybe somebody in Pakistan was investing in the guy, or paying the family, or loaning them, or whatever. But 3 million rupees, it's an even number. But the point is, the media and some in law enforcement and Obama have tried to tell us. They worked very hard trying to tell us there was no premeditation here. This guy he cracked. It was workplace violence. We know it because he got into an argument over Islam with that Messianic Jew in the office. And it just ticked him off. And then he had the humiliation of having to attend a Christmas party. For crying out loud, you can understand why he went crazy. So he's arguing with the Messianic, this is what we were told. He's arguing with the Messianic Jew at the Christmas party. It was more than anybody could be expected to handle. So he went home, he grabbed some pipe bombs and long weapons and came back and shut the place up. But the 3 million rupees And the scanner activity a week prior go a long way to confirming the attack was premeditated. And if it was premeditated, it could not have been spontaneous, almost understandable workplace violence, my friends.